What is happening in tech right now? We've got a whirlwind of updates, and you need to be in the loop. From the latest in operating system releases to surprising health insights, the pace is relentless, and we're here to break it all down for you. Get ready for the essential information you can't afford to miss. This is your daily dose of the future, delivered fast and hot. Let's dive in. Asterisk operating system, watch asterisk. Apple is pushing forward with its latest software, and the signs are pointing to a near-complete testing phase. We're seeing the 8th beta drop, a number that historically signals the final stretch before a major public release. Could this be it? The culmination of months of development, all gearing up for a September rollout. We're on the edge of our seats to see what this means for your devices. Wellness wisdom. Now, shifting gears to something that might be sitting in your pantry right now. We're diving deep into a popular wellness trend, exploring what happens when you take a certain superfood every single day. Experts are weighing in with some eye-opening findings about potential side effects that you absolutely need to know. Is your daily habit helping or hurting you? We've got the details. Connectivity Chronicle, and in a quick but crucial update, a familiar sight on your messaging app is getting a new meaning. That little blue dot? It's signaling a significant upgrade in how we communicate, hinting at enhanced features and a smoother experience. We'll tell you what it means and why it matters for your conversations. The final countdown asterisk. Finally, we're circling back to that major operating system update. Reports are suggesting that the 8th beta release might just be the last one we see before the final version drops. This could be the definitive signal that Apple is on the cusp of unleashing its next big thing. Get ready for the official launch details. Don't miss a single beat. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and join the iPad Focus community for all the breaking news and analysis you crave. The final countdown begins. iOS 26 beta testing nears completion. Apple is on the verge of concluding its extensive beta testing phase for the highly anticipated iOS 26, with the recent release of Beta 8 signaling the final stages of development. Historically, Apple adheres to a pattern of releasing approximately 8 developer betas before launching the stable version of its operating system. This trend has been consistent across recent major iOS updates, including iOS 18, iOS 17, iOS 16, iOS 15, iOS 14, and iOS 13, all of which followed a similar beta release cadence without exceeding 8 iterations. The only notable exception was iOS 12 back in 2018, which underwent a more prolonged testing period with multiple subsequent betas. However, given the current trajectory, the current cycle appears to be aligning with Apple's more recent, streamlined approach. The release of the 8th beta for iOS 26 on August 25th mirrors the timing of the iOS 18's 8th beta, which was deployed on August 28th, suggesting a parallel development schedule. While Apple reserves the right to issue additional betas if significant issues remain unresolved, it is highly probable that the company's software engineering teams are now prioritizing the finalization of the iOS 26 release candidate. The 8th beta itself did not introduce any groundbreaking new features, indicating a focus on stability and bug fixes, and the public eagerly awaits the final public beta release. Anticipation is building for the release candidate, which serves as the final pre-launch build, expected shortly after Apple's annual September iPhone event. Industry rumors peg September 9th as the likely date for this year's iPhone event. Following the event, the release candidate for iOS 26 is anticipated on that same day. Typically, iOS updates are rolled out a few days prior to the availability of new iPhone models. Apple often opens pre-orders for new iPhones on the Friday following their announcement, with the official launch occurring the subsequent Friday. Based on this pattern, new iPhone pre-orders are expected around September 12th, leading to a public launch on September 19th. Consequently, iOS 26 is projected to be released to the public between September 15th and September 17th. Beyond iOS, it is also anticipated that iPadOS 26, macOS Tahoe, tvOS 26, visionOS 26, and watchOS 26 will follow a similar release schedule, with their release candidates being made available on the same day as the iPhone event and their stable versions launching in proximity to the new hardware. The absence of further beta iterations suggests a high degree of confidence in the current build stability and feature set. Audience impact. Tech enthusiasts and Apple users are buzzing with anticipation for the official iOS 26 release, closely monitoring beta updates for any signs of impending launch, with many expecting the final version to arrive in mid-September. This beta cycle is drawing to a close, setting the stage for the official rollout. Now, let's shift our focus to some surprising health insights that might impact your daily routine. Daily dose of ACV. Experts reveal surprising side effects. Apple cider vinegar, ACV, a staple in the wellness community for years, has garnered significant attention for its purported health benefits, ranging from weight loss to blood sugar management. However, experts are cautioning that daily consumption may not be as universally beneficial as often portrayed, and potential side effects warrant careful consideration. While some preliminary studies have hinted at positive outcomes, the long-term implications and risks associated with regular ACV intake are becoming increasingly apparent. According to Dr. Raj Dasgupta, a quadruple board-certified physician specializing in internal medicine, ACV is essentially fermented apple juice, with its active component being acetic acid. This acid is credited with many of the proposed health perks, but Dr. Dasgupta emphasizes that much of the supporting evidence comes from animal studies, with more robust human research needed for definitive validation. Similarly, Michelle Rothenstein, a preventive cardiology dietitian, highlights the need for a balanced perspective, noting that while ACV is popular, its health claims are not exhaustively supported by extensive research, and its side effects are equally deserving of scrutiny. One of the most frequently cited concerns is the impact on dental health. Dr. Dasgupta explains that the high acidity of ACV can erode tooth enamel over time, leading to increased tooth sensitivity and a greater risk of cavities. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food indicated that participants consuming vinegar twice daily for 8 weeks experienced an 18% increase in tooth enamel erosion compared to a control group. Furthermore, consuming undiluted ACV can cause irritation and burns to the esophagus, potentially leading to throat issues. A severe case study documented in Clinical Endoscopy reported throat ulcers and even blood vomiting in a 15-year-old who regularly consumed undiluted ACV. ACV consumption can also affect potassium levels. Dr. Dasgupta notes that prolonged or excessive intake might lead to lower potassium levels, which can manifest as muscle cramps. In severe cases, it could potentially weaken bones, as potassium plays a role in calcium absorption and bone metabolism. Anecdotal evidence and health advisories, such as those from the University Health Center at Nebraska Medicine, also warn against topical application of ACV without significant dilution, as it can cause chemical burns and skin irritation. While some research suggests gut health benefits, other studies indicate that high ACV intake might disrupt the digestive system, causing nausea or delaying stomach emptying, a condition known as gastroparesis, which can be particularly problematic for individuals with diabetes. Interactions with medications are another critical concern. Ms. Rothenstein points out that ACV can interfere with diuretics, potentially exacerbating potassium loss, and can enhance the effects of insulin, possibly leading to hypoglycemia in individuals using the medication. Moreover, combining ACV with blood thinners like aspirin or warfarin could increase the risk of bleeding or bruising due to amplified blood thinning effects. To mitigate these risks, experts recommend consuming only 1 to 2 tablespoons of ACV daily, mixed with at least a cup of water. Using a straw can help protect tooth enamel, and rinsing the mouth with water afterward is advised. Avoiding consumption on an empty stomach can prevent digestive discomfort. Incorporating ACV into meals, such as in salad dressings or marinades, is another safer alternative. Individuals with pre-existing conditions like gastroparesis, acid reflux, low potassium levels, or sensitive teeth should exercise caution or avoid ACV altogether. Pregnant or breastfeeding women and those with specific health issues should consult a healthcare professional before incorporating ACV into their diet. Audience impact. Health-conscious individuals are reassessing their daily ACV habits, with many expressing surprise at the potential downsides and seeking expert advice on safe consumption methods. These health revelations highlight the importance of informed choices in our wellness journeys. Now, let's quickly touch upon a subtle but significant update in digital communication that you might be seeing every day. The blue dot revolution, understanding RCS messaging on Android. For users of Android devices, a small but significant visual cue on their messaging application, a blue dot or chat icon, now carries a new meaning, indicating the activation of rich communication services, RCS, messaging for specific conversations or contacts. This subtle change represents a major leap forward in mobile communication, bringing enhanced features and a more integrated experience to the Android platform. RCS messaging is essentially the next-generation standard for texting, designed to replace the older short message service, SMS, and multimedia messaging service, MMS, protocols. It aims to provide a richer, more interactive, and feature-filled messaging experience, akin to what users might expect from modern chat applications. The introduction of RCS aims to bring Android's messaging capabilities up to par with, and in some cases surpass, those offered by competing platforms, fostering a more seamless and engaging way for users to connect. When you see the blue dot or chat icon next to a contact or conversation, it signifies that both you and the recipient are utilizing RCS-enabled devices and services. This enables a host of advanced functionalities that were previously unavailable with standard SMS. These include read receipts, typing indicators, so you can see when someone is responding, high-quality media sharing, photos and videos that aren't heavily compressed, and the potential for group chat enhancements. In essence, it transforms your basic texting experience into a more dynamic and informative chat environment. The rollout of RCS messaging has been a gradual process, with Google actively working with carriers and device manufacturers to ensure broad compatibility. The presence of the blue dot is a user-friendly indicator that the underlying technology is active and ready to be used. It's a signal that the conversation is leveraging the enhanced capabilities of RCS, offering a more robust and modern communication channel. For businesses and brands, RCS also opens up new avenues for customer engagement. It allows for branded messages, interactive buttons within chats, and the ability to send rich media content directly to customers, creating more personalized and effective communication strategies. This could range from appointment reminders with actionable buttons to product updates with embedded media. The adoption of RCS is crucial for the continued evolution of mobile messaging. It provides a standardized framework that supports innovation and allows for the integration of new features over time. As more users and devices adopt RCS, the overall messaging experience on Android will become increasingly sophisticated and user-friendly, bridging the gap between traditional texting and advanced messaging platforms. Audience impact. Android users are noticing the subtle visual cues indicating RCS activation, leading to increased curiosity about the enhanced messaging features and a desire for wider adoption for improved communication. This technological shift in messaging is subtly changing how we connect daily. Now, let's return to the world of operating systems, where another major update is on the horizon. iOS 26 beta testing nears its end, final release imminent. Apple appears to be wrapping up its beta testing phase for iOS 26, with the recent distribution of Beta 8 suggesting that the final public release is just weeks away. This development aligns with Apple's established pattern of concluding its beta cycles after approximately 8 iterations, a trend observed in most of its recent major iOS updates. Historically, Apple has typically released around 8 developer betas for major iOS versions before deeming the software ready for a stable, public launch. This approach has been consistent for iOS 18, iOS 17, iOS 16, iOS 15, iOS 14, and iOS 13. The outlier was iOS 12 in 2018, which saw a more extensive testing period with up to 12 betas. However, the current iOS 26 beta schedule strongly indicates a return to the more streamlined 8 beta cycle that has characterized recent releases. The 8th beta for iOS 26 was seeded on August 25th, a timing that closely mirrors the release of the 8th beta for iOS 18, which occurred on August 28th. This temporal similarity reinforces the likelihood that the beta testing phase is nearing its conclusion. While Apple could theoretically release additional betas if critical bugs persist, it's highly probable that the development teams are now focused on preparing the release candidate, the final version of the software, before the official public launch. Significantly, the 8th beta for iOS 26 did not introduce any major new features, suggesting that the focus has shifted entirely to refining existing functionality, squashing bugs, and ensuring overall stability. This is a standard procedure as developers approach the final release. The public release of the final public beta is also still anticipated, which often serves as a near-final preview for a wider audience before the official rollout. Looking ahead, the release candidate for iOS 26 is expected to be made available shortly after Apple's anticipated September iPhone event. Rumors suggest this event will take place on September 9th, with the release candidate potentially dropping on the same day. Apple typically launches its new iOS versions a few days before the new iPhone models become available. Following the event, pre-orders for new iPhones are usually announced on the Friday after, with the official launch occurring the following Friday. If this pattern holds, new iPhone pre-orders could begin around September 12th, and the devices could launch on September 19th. This timeline suggests that iOS 26 will likely be released to the public sometime between September 15th and September 17th. It's also worth noting that other Apple operating systems, including iPadOS 26, macOS Tahoe, tvOS 26, visionOS 26, and watchOS 26, are expected to follow a similar release cadence. Their respective release candidates are anticipated on the day of the iPhone event, with stable versions launching in close proximity to the new hardware. Audience impact. Users are eagerly awaiting the stable release of iOS 26, with the latest beta updates fueling speculation about the exact launch date and the final feature set. With the operating system updates drawing near, the tech landscape is buzzing with anticipation. Let's delve into another significant development that could impact your daily health choices. That's a wrap on today's essential tech and wellness updates. We saw iOS 26 beta testing likely concluding with Beta 8, signaling an imminent official release. We also uncovered surprising side effects of taking apple cider vinegar daily, according to experts. Plus, the simple blue dot on Android messages now means much more thanks to our CS. And finally, the 8th beta of iOS 26 strongly suggests the final version is just around the corner. Don't miss out on any future updates. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications by ringing the bell, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Follow us on all social platforms to stay connected. We'll see you in the next one.